Mirror, mirror on the wall, is this not the most perfect kingdom of them all?
Well, technically you're not a king.
Thelonious, you were saying?
CJ has to bet, and he's also dumb. Even though he's blonde, he's not very fun. He has his own talk show, it's every gamer's dream. It's a crazy little talk show, and it's called Cookies and Cream.
There comes a point in our lives when, we all must take a stand. Some may fight for our rights to party, some may wake up, stand up, and others will scream about school being out. What I'm talking about is embracing who you are. I remember watching last Christmas, there was a film called Love Hard. I watched it with my girlfriend, we got all up on the couch, had a nice little cup of hot cocoa, and it was a really goofy but entertaining flick. In the film, this guy played by Jimmy O Yang secretly pretends to be the stereotypical early 20s hottie, but after getting to know him post-Catfish scandal, we see he is an incredibly awesome dude. Talented candle maker, exceptional singer, and a sincere person all around. I highly recommend watching it if you haven't already, but at the same time, I couldn't help but shake this feeling that this theme of self-acceptance needs to be brought to the forefront in the gaming industry. We are seeing now, more than ever, various titles openly follow a checklist of items that are popular both in gameplay and design in order to increase sales volume, i.e. taking what is popular, what is hip, and just doing that while not embracing to the fullest its own unique potential. Nowhere more can you see this struggle than with Ghostwire Tokyo, one of the most strange and interesting AAA titles I've ever played, that just like Jimmy O Yang's character in Love Hard, would benefit from looking in the mirror. Created by Tango Gameworks, Ghostwire Tokyo absolutely grabbed everyone's attention back at E3 2019 with that original CGI trailer. A city overrun by a dense fog, people vanishing, and the horrors of Japanese folklore run amok. The premise sounded fascinating, and in execution, I can say this is one of the wildest open-world playgrounds I have ever explored. The love and detail for the city life of Tokyo borders on pure respect, and there's an eerie 28 days later vibe with all the carnage around you. This doesn't feel like an empty sandbox with the music within districts and lights still operating. You truly get the feeling that you are suddenly one of the few people left in a densely populated environment. The opening hours may not be horrific, or even matching up to what the predecessors of The Evil Within 1 and 2 did, but the atmosphere is downright spectacular. This is also a unique game where NPCs are the ghosts of those who have died, dogs surveying the streets for chow, and these cats are straight up running convenience stores on every block. They've been plotting, and now it's their time. Their time for can. Speaking of plotting, the setup for these events wastes no time. You play an everyday lad who sadly was in Tokyo when this fog straight up consumes everybody. Like, mere seconds, bam, gone. A strange spirit by the name of DK has taken control of your body, and you both struggle with having to rely on each other to survive and figure out what is wrong. This helmet dude is on his bullshit. Our main protagonist's sister has been captured, and we are busting ghosts Naruto style. Cool opening, like, sign me up, next 20 hours. Have my attention. The game is experienced from a first-person perspective, and while you have access to a bow, the game takes notes from Dead Space, whereas there are no guns to combat these foes. All your attacks are harnessing the energies in the world Avatar style. Wind, fire, and water serve as your toolkit, and these hands are buy one, get one half off. The movement and animations of these attacks are mesmerizing. And on PS5, the haptic feedback breathes life into even the smallest of interactions in the world. Then there are these monsters, which all stem from folklore prominent in the eastern part of the world. This game begins to feel like an interactive museum for such tales, where the side quests are not afraid to get weird. Like get really weird. You explore the house of a hoarder, deal with two people experiencing life through the same eyes in a haunted hospital post-surgery, get consumed by a mask that slowly kills you until you find its lover, and much more. The quests and level exploration are where Ghostwire is unapologetically Ghostwire, and at its absolute best as a new IP in this industry. If everything I am saying sounds interesting, well, that's because it is. Case closed there. Which hurts me because we need to have an intervention. The beauty of this Studio Tango is how newer devs get the freedom to try whatever they want. The identity of this game is magical, yet everything begins feeling formulaic as the game focuses so hard to appeal to the mainstream demographic. Side activities begin overlapping way too much. There are the towers you cleanse, giving your map more items to check off. And oh my god, is this map just populated with junk. Everything is openly marked and spelled out for you, giving little room for organic discovery, feeling like you are taking the adventure in your own hands and not just following a route placed by the developers. Even ideas that are so unique for a game are criminally underutilized. A perfect example is your spirit guide, your origin for power and the only reason you are surviving this outbreak. There are enemies in this game that can separate you two from spirit and body. This means you lose access to your powers and must fight to join forces quite literally again. First time this happened, I absolutely myself and felt that sense of urgency this game was lacking. And I only wish there was more of this. More discovering invisible eyeball doors, and less checking off items from a map. More kitties selling me canned foods I've never heard of, and less simplified rock, paper, scissors combat. More ever-changing environments that are unpredictable and less of a ham-fisted shop system. More flashy duels with an outstanding enemy lineup that holds centuries of engaging folklore, and less feeling like I've played this game before. Personally, I love Ghostwire despite all these gripes. As a new IP, this game's premise was shooting for the stars, and whether it was due to targeting mainstream players or changes in development, sadly didn't follow through on itself. We as people need to embrace what makes us different, and Ghostwire Tokyo is a perfect example why. The core of what makes you different is what people will remember the most, and what will have the biggest impact on the world we live in today. I truly want there to be a sequel, and I must stress, if you have not yet, please go try this game. Give it a chance. Its narrative, while brief, and way more than you would think, has a beautiful conclusion. And there is a lot of fun to be had with the proof of concepts in place. Here at Cookies and Cream, we are gaming with a purpose. So don't be afraid to look yourself in the mirror and wake up.